Hello and welcome to another episode of Tiva Drive. And this week we are back in a Lincoln Corsair plug-in hybrid. We've previously driven this car 2 years ago when it was launched. And back then we compared it with the competition. Right now there's actually more competition in the field of the luxury compact all-wheel drive SUVs. So last time the only other kind of logical competition was the Lexus NX450h Plus, which is about to change its name into a 450 plug-in hybrid. They're dropping the Plus finally. So this here, the Lincoln, is 2 years later. It just went under some minor modifications, no major changes to the model. It still competes with the Lexus NX plug-in, but now it also has to contend with European, Italian competition from the Alfa Romeo Tonale, which we drove. So we already published the reviews for both of these cars, the NX plug-in and the Tonale plug-in. But these are the two that it can be compared with. So the changes 2 years later after the launch include slightly different grille. This design comes from the European Ghia division of Ford, and this grille was typical for the European Ghia grilles of the top end Ford models in Europe. So they kind of very nice looking design. It's different than all the other grilles you see around. The lights, the signature did not change. Your DRLs are here at the bottom. Dual LED lights as well. No fog lamps present in this Corsair plug-in hybrid. In terms of the specs and the price, all three of these plug-in hybrid luxury SUVs, the compact SUVs, they start at around 60,000. So both this and the Lexus are priced from 60,000. The Tonale is a couple of grand cheaper, starts at 58,000. Mind you, this particular car we have here is stuffed to the max, as usual is the case with the press fleet cars. It's stuffed with 20 grand worth of options. So as it stands, as you see it here, it's actually 80,000, which is up there. You know, then it's really competing with a lot of full electric luxury SUVs as well. Whether this 20 grand option package is worth it or not, we'll discuss when we take you for a spin. So we won't be showing you the interior of the car, because actually when we take you for a drive, we'll just briefly mention the changes to the interior. There are a few. The charge port is still here. The fuel port is on the other side in the back of the car. There's really no changes to the side. We like the fact that it's one of the few cars that still has the chrome all around it, which addresses the question of the target clientele. I think it's the Lincoln clientele tends to be a little bit older, more mature. Hence the chrome is still here, where most of the other manufacturers eliminated. They went all black. Partially because of the trend, partially because of the cost of the chrome trims. Sorry, so the fuel is actually on the same side, so it's in the back, and the charge port is in the front. So we'll quickly just show you. We won't go through this space because we did it previously when we had the full review of the car last time. You will notice a slightly bigger screen. The seat and this $20,000 package is 24-way adjustable, and the panoramic opening sunroof is a standard equipment on the Lincoln Corsair. Even if you don't go for the $20,000 package, which has lots of other goodies, you still get the panoramic opening sunroof. We'll briefly just show you the back of the car. Again, no changes here. You have the unibrow stretching from one side to the other with the brake lights right here underneath. So turn signals, brake lights and reverse lights slightly below, but you have the unibrow still all the way across. We have some nice pictures of this car side by side our Audi Q4. Both of these cars have this unibrow lights in the back. At night looks quite nice. So you do have, let's see if it works. Yes, it does have the foot swipe. Obviously it makes sense. in a car of this price range. The other nice surprise, again, which we may have mentioned before, is the presence of a spare tire, which is very rare in a plug-in hybrid SUV. And there's a jack right there to change your tire. So you don't have to have run flats. There is actually a spare tire in the trunk, which is kind of a nice surprise. The rear bench is 40-60 split, and it has an adjustable angle. So that's about it for the walk around. Let's jump quickly into the car, take you for a spin, and show you our impressions of this latest reiteration of the Lincoln Corsair plug-in hybrid and its comparison with Alfa Romeo and Lexus. Okay, so here we are inside 2024 version of the Lincoln Corsair plug-in hybrid. We'll start up the car and tell you about our test results and the comparison with its Lexus and Alfa Romeo competition. All right, so here we go. The start button is still here. All the gear switching is done through the buttons, which we hate personally. We prefer to have a regular gear shifter. Unfortunately, it comes with those buttons here, but that's kind of been the Lincoln thing for quite a while now. The other remark is the $20,000 package comes with the 24-way adjustable heated, cooled and massaged seats, but for some reason I cannot adjust it to a comfortable position for myself. The seat is simply just too high. Even though you have this section here which you can extend or retract, the whole seat setup is just too high. I'm a tall guy, 190 centimeters, 6'3", and still couldn't get it adjusted. I wish the seat went down further. I don't like when the seat touches the bottom of my legs here. And even though I now went as far to the front as I can, it's still just pressing on my legs too much. So that's kind of my thing. But another member of our family who is not as tall, same thing, he couldn't get it adjusted to a comfortable position. So because it's part of this $20,000 package, as is the Blue Cruise hands-free driving system, and a few of the other, an upgraded sound system and a few other things, honestly, I don't think it's worth the money. If you're planning to buy or lease this car, go for a longer test drive and see if this 24-way adjustable seat is really worth the money. In our opinion, it is not. Okay, so let's take you for a quick spin. Again, the switch gear here, not the favorite. There's no climate screen here, so just your gear switching, your start-stop button, your gear buttons, and then you have just your basic buttons. The volume button is nice, of course. Then you have your camera button, hazard lights, defrosting, but there's no climate screen. Everything else is now on the center screen, which has grown since this car was introduced 2 years ago. So it's definitely a larger screen, has a nice chrome surround, again, typical for Lincoln. Nice high definition camera, surround view, bird's eye view, when you're reversing. And so, yes, definitely a larger screen. There's the storage compartment here. There is a wireless charger. It comes with a wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, of course, which is to be expected for a luxury compact SUV. We love the fact that the sunroof opens, of course. But the main question is our test results again. Because mechanically the car is the same as 2 years ago when it was launched, so it still has a 16 kilowatt hour battery, which is smaller than a Toyota Lexus 18 kilowatt hours, so that affects the range. It's the same size as Dodge Alfa Romeo Duo, which is made in Italy. The rated range by Transport Canada is 45 kilometers in electric. When we picked up the car, fully charged it, and we're driving locally, around the city using heating. It was quite cold this week in the morning. The temperature is in the low single digits, so the temperature was just above freezing with the heat on, and with the steering heat as well as the seat heat. The range was showing at full was showing only 37 kilometers, and that's what we were able to drive. In hypermile mode, we were able to drive it just around 46 kilometers without the climate on a warmer stretch of the day when it was close to 20 degrees. So in ideal conditions, yes, you can reach that 45 rated electric range, but not when it's cooler and you have your climate and seat heat and steering heat on. Then you're closer to kind of a mid-30s kilometer electric range. In terms of the comparison with the Alfa Romeo and the Lexus is the most powerful and has the biggest battery. The Alfa Romeo, which would be the equivalent to this car, because the Dodge would be kind of a more of a Ford Escape kind of vehicle, where the Lincoln would be compared mostly with Alfa Romeo, which is a little bit more upscale. We love the looks of the Alfa Romeo more, the European design in it. The Lincoln has a slightly different target clientele. So between these two, our preference, because we're kind of we have a European background, probably would be in the Alfa Romeo. And what we loved about this car, though, is the Blue Cruise hands-free. So when we're driving on the highway, by the way, the consumption on the highway with depleted hybrid battery was about 8 liters per 100 kilometers. And then that's mixed highway and city driving. So what you have to know is that in order to get the Blue Cruise on this vehicle, it comes in that famous $20,000 package. So I think it should be a standalone option, honestly. But for now, it appears to be part of the $20,000. It's actually $18,000. Then plus this car has an upgraded wheels, 21-inch wheels, which are of course nice, but the total price of the car then goes way up to $80,000, at which point you have many other luxury SUV options, including full electric options. So that would not be the way we would recommend to go. I think go for a base vehicle, and that's the best one. So, but then in the base vehicle, you will not have the Blue Cruise. So on the highway, and we're gonna try and demonstrate it as soon as we get on the highway, we'll turn on the Blue Cruise. It's phenomenal. I mean, we drove from Toronto to Midland via Barrie, basically mostly hands-free. Of course, it'll warn you in construction areas to take over, but it's mostly hands-free. So when you turn on the hands-free Blue Cruise, when you turn on the massage, the trip all of a sudden becomes very luxurious. It's actually almost dangerous to the point where it's gonna put you to sleep. But of course, you have all this array of supervisory sensors right here, located right here, that are looking at you to make sure that you're paying attention, that you're looking at the road. So this is why it's a level 2 system. Level 3 systems, which have been introduced by, Tesla, Mercedes, and excuse me, and BMW, will allow you to go hands-free without paying attention, watching a movie or watching your phone, etc., etc. For now, all these systems are level 2, where you have to pay attention and you have to be watching the road. Otherwise, the system will send you warnings and will disconnect. So it's still a very good system, one of the best systems. Of course, it has automatic lane change, so we'll try and demonstrate. We're just entering the highway, so we should be able to turn it on for you shortly. The way you turn it on is on the steering wheel. There's a button here on the left. So as soon as we exit the ramp, we're gonna try and turn it on. There's a Tesla behind us. For some reason, I think a lot of the Tesla owners don't necessarily use their, just the way they're driving, they're not using their FSD or autopilot systems. I tend to like to use it. The rest of our family, not so much. They like to be in manual control of the vehicles. Okay, so here we are. Let's turn it on. Boom, and the system's on. You change the speeds here behind. So let's put it up to a highway speed, and you see, even though it's fully charged battery, the engine came on. So that's the other issue with this plug-in hybrid, is that the engine comes on too often. And when you're up the hill or when you're accelerating too much, yeah, there you go, Blue Cruise on. Watch the road. and you can see here the indication of the Blue Cruise on the left. And the engine came on. Let's see how it deals with road split. Yeah, it continues on its way. Keep hands on the steering wheel. Okay, so now it turned off for some reason. So the Blue Cruise was on for a few seconds and then it turned off. Now it tells you to keep the hands on the wheel. So it's geo-locked to only certain locations. So we're on the Gardner. There we go. It's turned back on. So we're back in hands-free. So you can kind of do whatever you want, but you still have to pay attention to the road. You have to watch the road because the sensors are watching you. Yeah, so it's working fine. Let's turn the indicator. Let's try and change lanes. Auto lane change. There we go. It did a very good job. Nice and gentle, not like BMW is tossing people in the car around. This is very gentle. Let's go back to the right lane. There we go. Very nice and gentle. We prefer this gentle way than the BMW's violent lane change, to be honest. So this is one big plus over the Alfa Romeo Tonale. So if you're into auto steer systems, hands-free systems and such, the massage seat is also not available in the Alfa. But in order to get it, you have to use this $18,000 package, which brings the car price up to $80,000, which is a lot for a compact SUV, even if it's a plug-in hybrid. So that's about it. If you have any questions, let's take it off the auto cruise. If you have any questions regarding this car test, do not hesitate to comment under our video. We'll be pleased to to answer your questions. And as usual, do not forget to press the subscribe button on our channel to be informed when the next video will be available. And we have lots more exciting pure electric and plug-in hybrid cars reviews coming to this channel, including a nice surprise this week. But you'll have to watch our channel to find out what the surprise will be. Thank you for watching, and at the end we have to always thank our sponsor, Condos and Castles Realty. You can find them at www.condosandcastles.com. Thank you for watching.